Carlos, I have a quick question.
Hmm.
So I know we've spoken about, your losses, going into your wins, but what's to you, what is that mindset? What takes you there? Where somebody usually quits because, hey, they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel or whatever. But what gets you through and makes you push?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, you know what? I think we all face challenges day in and day out. There's always going to be things that don't go your way, they don't go as planned. Especially like if you're an entrepreneur or you work a 9 to 5 and you have a side hustle, sometimes on the side hustle and your 9 to 5, things aren't going your way. Now, for me, I consider my flips a side hustle, and I also consider like my regular day in, day out transactions part of my business. And there was a moment the last couple of months that got really challenging for me. And one of the biggest things is at the moment you play like the victim role, right? You first have those thoughts of why me? Why is this not going the right way? Why is it not working out? Like, what did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. And like at first admitting like what you did wrong is the hardest challenge. Now, first you have to identify like what was the problem. And then I dumb it all the way down. Like, I really think about like, is this really that big of an issue? How can I solve the issue? So I write it down on paper. This is what's going on and this is what I need to fix. And then I write down the 3 steps on how I can fix this one thing. So instead of trying to like fix everything at once, I focus on one. Once I fix that, now I'm done for the day. I'll worry about the other one tomorrow. The next day I come in, same thing. I focus on what is really the issue. How can I solve it? Is it within me? Like, do I have control over fixing that problem? If I have control over it, I'm going to find a solution. And if I don't have control over it, then I need to have a conversation with who does have control with it and find the way to fix it together. So identifying the issue is always that. And then within yourself, because sometimes the other conversation within yourselves is like, screw this, I'm just going to give up. I always feel like no matter what problem you have, you've had a deeper or like a bigger problem in the past. And I always think if I was able to overcome that, like this ain't shit. I've done it before. So for me, like I always think about like, man, I wish I had these problems before. Like I don't have these problems. I get to have these problems. Anytime it's a problem within the business or on the business, in the business, I always think to myself, I get to have these problems. Not that I have them. Like I have the opportunity to go ahead and have these problems, solve them. And that means I'm working. That means I'm doing something right. So it's all about how you look at things. Perspective is everything.